ScouterStan. I want to talk a little bit about how the square knots on an adult leader's uniform actually tell a story. Now, on this podcast, it's going to be a little difficult to show you the images. Obviously, I'm just going to go over this. I would highly recommend that you go to the YouTube channel and watch the video that corresponds with this podcast. Now, very often we refer to these small embroidered patches above the pocket on the wearer's left side. It's on the left side of the shirt. Above the edge of the flap, that's the pocket on the shirt. These patches have the image, most of them have the image of a square knot. Now, before everybody goes crazy, I know that the square knot has many different names. In a lot of places, it's referred to as a reef knot. In some places, it's even known as a Herculean knot. It's a joining knot. So there's a lot of different names for this. For scouting purposes, we often refer to this knot as a square knot. Now, as you are looking at the other adult leaders, this will appear on what you see as the right side, but this is the wearer's left side pocket. What's even crazier about these knots, they can easily be put on upside down. Now, often when there are two colored ropes, there'll be a left side and a right side to the knot. Typically, if you follow as you're looking at the patch, as you follow it from the right side, it will actually go underneath the ropes on the left and over the top and then back down again and leave on the other side. That's if you have two different colored ropes on the knot, and it's easily confused. I would recommend looking at a chart. Make sure you get a good one, because I've seen charts out there that didn't have it correctly placed. Now, one of the critical things about a square knot is once it has been earned by the youth or the adult, it's permanent. It is part of the scout's record. Even if the knot is discontinued or the award is no longer has a knot for it, if you've earned it and it had a knot at the time, the person who received it can wear it. Now, if a scouter earns the knot twice, he doesn't put two on the uniform. The leader should put one on the uniform and then add things called devices. These devices, there's one for each type of scouting that's out there, and you can add it to the patch. So if you have, say for instance, an award for a unit leader and it's for Cub Scouts, you would have a Cub Scout device. Then you earn it again in a troop. You can put a Cub Scout and a troop device on the square knot. Now, there are 4 distinct categories of square knots. The first category is achievement. Now, achievement is Arrow of Light, Eagle Scout, Venture Silver, Quartermaster. There's all the different ones that a youth can actually earn and then wear them as a scouter. The second category is awards. These can include the Medal of Merit, Medal of Heroism, Medal of Honor, Community Organizer, District Award of Merit, the Silver Beaver, the Silver Antelope, the Silver Buffalo, the Silver World, Unit Leader Award of Merit. Now, the third category is recognition. Typically, this comes from unit service or being a part of a district activity. The James West Fellowship, Hornaday, Youth or Adult Religious Awards, William Du Bois, Scouting Service, International Scouter, Venturing Leadership, Order of the Arrow Distinguished Service, Distinguished Commissioner Service, Commissioner's Award of Excellence, Special Needs Scouting Service, Alumni, Cub Master, Cub Scouter, Weeblo's Den Leader, Tiger Den Leader, Pack Trainer, Den Leader, Scouter's Award of Merit, Speaker Bank. The fourth category is known as training, and the knots would include Doctorate of Commissioner Service, Philmont Training Center, Master Trek, Scouter's Key, Scout Leader Training, Commissioner's Key. Now, being a podcast, this is very difficult to describe, but all of these have different colors and backgrounds and borders and different things. For instance, when I said Eagle Scout, they have a standard Eagle Scout, but there's also another knot that is actually from NISA. If you're a lifetime member of NISA, which is the National Eagle Scout Association, if you're a lifetime member, you get one with a special silver border. Now, if you're like me, you go to these scouting events with other adult leaders in uniform, and I've noticed that some of the older scouters that I've seen year after year, they don't have any knots. And I'm just thinking, why is that? And it occurred to me that there's really 3 reasons why there would not be any service knots or any of the knots on their uniform. And the first one I thought of was very important. The scout leader is not being properly recognized by the unit. This can be a huge demotivator. We all do so much for scouting. We need to recognize those who have given to scouting. Now, the second reason is a little bit different, and that would be that they're hesitant for some reason or they're just shy. They don't realize that having those knots helps other leaders be inspired, that having them on their uniform helps other leaders recruit them for different tasks. And the third one is that the leader got a new shirt and hasn't sewn on any patches yet. That is possible. But if you see them month after month, you might want to talk to them. Now, there are some special cases. If they are on the Wood Badge staff, the Wood Badge staff has a very plain uniform shirt. And the reason for that is quite simple. We want leaders not to read the book of all of these knots and rely on their guides for leadership. We want them to develop their own leadership. Because of that, we don't really wear a regular uniform. We plane it down. So it's a plain blank book. And one of the critical things is if you have something, let's say, for instance, you have some Life Scouts and you need somebody to help them through the Eagle process, and you notice that your assistant scoutmaster is wearing an Eagle Scout knot. Ideally, that would be the go-to person for helping mentoring these Life Scouts into Eagle. So using the knots, you can see how this works. That's the wonderful thing. You can really get a lot of information from just reading the uniform shirt. I hope this has been helpful, because a lot of unit leaders have problems finding people to help. And being able to see what is needed, that's the first thing. You have to recognize it first. Then go and ask. So many times we fail when we don't ask. So read that uniform and get out there and do a great job. And I know you do. I know you do. So keep up the good work, and I will see you on the trail.